I was saying, Lucas, I found out what Yoda's last name was this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Yoda Lehu.
Oh, fuck.
I told you it was a bad one. I saw it on Reddit.
I think I felt his heart stop there.
Mm.
He's just like, oh, God.
I stroll through Reddit looking for the worst ones I can find just for you now, mate.
Oh, you are really, at least you're really good at something in life.
I can hear the pain.
Yeah, migraine's coming back thanks to that joke. Great, yeah, fantastic.
Oh, well. Screw it. Anyone else got anything to start the show? Because I didn't want to start the show with it. I was just talking.
Chunt posted a thing on Instagram today, which I thought was really nice because it hit me right in the feels.
Okay.
He posted up a thing that said, even if 99% of the world thinks you're ugly, that still means that 75 million people think you're hot. So there you go.
Is 1% of the world 75 million people?
Like, I don't know if the math checks out. It just sounds good.
It sounds all right.
Someone will tell us in the comments. They go, yep. Otherwise, they go,
yeah.
no, Greg.
They're all currently residing within mental institutions. Looking at photos of you.
Yeah, look, 75 million people might be, mentally disturbed enough to think I'm hot. But
they're like dribbling on their phone and in the corner and rocking backwards and forwards. And look, let's face it, they're probably masturbating over you.
Yeah,
I'm okay with
apparently, that. Radicus is so ugly.
So his fist not literally.
His fist turns him down.
Oh, wow.
That's arthritis, man. It's all good.
That's one
goes
of
for some alone time, gets a pain in his hand.
You asshole. My hand has a headache. Oh, dear. All right, I think that's sufficiently started.
Yeah. Lucas, play the music.
All right, editing Lucas here. Hello, everybody. Let's try and get a good joke before we start the show. All right, there is a man and he is running late for a new job interview and he can't find a parking space anywhere, so he stops. He puts his hands together and he looks to the sky and says, "Please, God, if you can help me find a parking space, I will give up looking at porn, I will stop drinking and I will go to church every Sunday." And just at that moment he looked up and there was a space for him to park in. And then he looked up to the sky and said, "Never mind, found one."
3, 2, 1, 0.
We recommend wearing headphones. This
is the Aussie Gamers
Experience. News, reviews, and outlandish fun. Experience it all.
What's up, everyone, and thanks for joining us for episode 251 of the Aussie Gamers Experience podcast. Today is Monday, the 25th of March, 2019. I'm your host, Snoogs, and joining me for hosting duties tonight is Grejio and Lucas. How are you, boys?
Good.
Good.
Hey, it's my turn to say, not so bloody good, man. I have been under the weather all week. Sinus issues from hay fever and migraines. Oh my God. People that generally suffer migraines, I feel for you. I've just been having migraines this week. It is sending me crazy. But anyway, right now I'm good. Today's been good. I haven't had a migraine today, so I haven't had to punch up too many drugs, which means I should be lucid enough for the podcast.
Zoom. You see that? That was someone who cares, Luke.
Thanks,
Radicus is on fire.
Yep, love you.
Alrighty. So, well, that's Lucas's week. Greg, how about yourself, mate? How's your week been?
Yeah, pretty good. For the most part. I mean, yesterday, being that today is Monday for us, it'll be Sunday for you guys, for the first people listening. But yesterday, which was Sunday, I had to ring for the first time. I'm 36 years old, and I had to ring 000 for the first time yesterday.
Oh, story?
Yeah.
Story time.
Yeah. I love how you guys are saying story time. I'm pretty sure I've already told you this. I'm telling this for the viewers' benefit, but okay.
Oh, have you? Do I know this story?
Conversation, good sir.
All right. So anyway,
You're assuming I paid attention the first time.
clearly you didn't. Anyway, so yesterday I was supposed to go on a car club run, and through a bunch of other unfortunate circumstances, I ended up being late. So I organised to meet them up at a different spot, which meant that I had to drive down Northern Road. Now, for those that don't live in the greater Western Sydney area, Northern Road is a main road.
Yeah.
It's a main road that runs between two suburbs and cuts through a fair amount of country, Western Sydney kind of area.
Funnily enough, you were travelling south.
I was I was traveling south on the Northern Road. It goes both directions, but this isn't South Australia where they change halfway through the day. Anyway, so I was traveling down, and it was quite early in the morning, and it was a bit foggy. Anyway, as I was driving, all of a sudden I came across what was a car accident on the road, and two cars had collided with each other. And it obviously hadn't been very long since it had happened when I rocked up. There's already two people sort of helping guide traffic and whatnot, but there was a man standing in the middle of the road, and when I slowed down to ask him if he was okay, he asked if I could call him and the other occupants of the car and ambulance just to make sure everyone was okay. So I got out of the car and I rang 000 for the first time in my life, and ended up getting the police and the fire brigade and the ambulance all down there, and I was down there for a good amount of time before a nice policeman told me I was allowed to go. And so it was interesting. It was a big hit. Like when I saw where they kind of impacted and how much damage was done to the cars, and then how separated those cars were again, because there was a good 200 or 300 meters between both cars that hit each other. Where they came to rest. It's a
good question from Radicus there. Were the people involved okay, or we're talking?
No, yeah.
Ouchies?
So by the time I got out, by the time I got there, everyone was out of their cars, so there was no one trapped. And the driver of the
One
guy
might have been from Campbelltown, so we're not sure if they were hurt or just talking slow.
Okay. The guy who had been
Come on, it had to be thrown in there. Just I had to be the ass to do it.
Yeah. He was okay. He was obviously a little shocked, which is what happens when someone tries to spear their car into yours. The driver of the other vehicle seemed to be the most okay of everyone. He was talking, walking around fine. His passenger, however, was probably the worst, and even he didn't have any bruises or anything on him. He was just having a hard time breathing because I think he had either had some asthma or something, and just the shock of the accident was making it hard for him to breathe. Yeah, but other than that, everyone was okay. Thankfully, it was messy, but it also meant that I was then even more late for my cruise. So I reorganized to meet up with them at a different spot, in which, for other reasons, I had not a very good day. Let's put it this way. I missed them there and ended up meeting them right at the end of the cruise. So I had my own mini cruise by myself, and they had a wonderful time with them, and I just met up with them at the end and said hi, and then went go-karting with them. So, yeah, look, that was it's an interesting story. I got an interesting story out of it. So,
you know what, I find people in car clubs like that, like, strangely nice. I don't know if you noticed this. I reckon, like, it's a Commodore or Holden, something like that group or something like that.
Well, yeah, no, it's not a make specific group, but
isn't it?
It's a car club. Yeah,
I could imagine, and this isn't a bad thing. It's just an observation. I could imagine I could rock up in like the most beaten up piece of shit, fucking Holden Commodore thing, like maybe an SS from like 20 years ago. I don't know if they made them then. And they'd come up and they go, "That's a really nice wing mirror you've got there."
Yeah, look, I know Pat. I know Pat can also attest to this. It really depends on the group. There's some groups where they are like that. They're just wholly and utterly accepting. And I find that single mate groups can be like that, but you can also find single mate groups.
No, single mate groups are not like that.
Really?
No.
I've known some to be both. What I was about to say is that some of them are quite elitist.
But yeah, like they carry on like, you know, you made the car. Oh, well, no, I bought it and I added on a couple of bits and pieces, you know.
Some do.
It really does depend. I've known some absolute shockers.
Yeah, because I own
I know Pat and I have been in one where we actually stopped going because they were kind of that elitist. Like even our cars, and we'd done little bits and pieces to make them ours, and they were respectable, nice cars. Like I would have happily, at that time, put my car in like a show. And
I'm
even then,
pretty sure we actually did.
I have an MT-09, which I think is a really nice motorbike, right? Mm-hmm. And I ran into a guy. Well, I didn't physically run into him. We didn't have to exchange details or anything like that. But I ran into this bloke at a lookout, and he had like I think he had an MT-07, and he come up and had a look at my MT-09. He's like, "Oh man, that's a really nice bike," and this and that. And I'm like, "Yeah, come like that. I bought it." I didn't build the fucking thing. Don't give me any praise. But I just want to go back up the chat here, and Skrill says, "Oh, hello, Skrill, by the way. Thought he called the clubby a Commodore. FYI, a Club Sport is a fucking Commodore." I know, I can't stand people who are like, "Oh, it's not a Commodore, it's a Club Sport." It's exactly the fucking same car, except it's got a bigger engine and a different badge. And a couple of different flarings. It's a fucking HSV. And what does HSV stands for? Holden Special Vehicles. It's a fucking Holden Special Vehicle Commodore. What's the name of the podcast again?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, this is definitely a conversation for offline.
Latin for shitbox, says Redicus. It's a fucking Commodore, end of story. All right.
On that note, I got a new car last week.
Yes. What did you get?
A Commodore?
It's a Commodore.
It wasn't a Club Sport, was it?
Yours was a Hyundai Commodore.
It's an Opel Commodore.
Yeah, Opel Commodore.
Oh, dear.
Oh, good.
Yes, Skrill. I'm definitely triggered.
In the chat tonight so far, we have Asriel, Radicus, and Skrill. Cheers, guys. It's always much shit. I can't even speak. Always a whole lot better when you guys are here, making us laugh. Good stuff. All right, in the show this week, the hooks are in again. More trials. Battlefield enters the fray. PlayStation has finally started. The 2019 Hall of Fame, and much, much more. So, how about we get into it, guys?
Okay, let's do it.
All right, you're all right now. You're untriggered.
I wasn't triggered. I was triggered.
No, I was.
We're all good.
I don't care. I just know that people that argue
like
that
a beer in a Blitzen?
that a HSV isn't a Commodore absolutely hate it when people do that. So I do that.
They do. Yeah, they do. Anyway.
This week in gaming, we're going all the way back to 2001 for a release on PC. Now, the reason I picked this one out is because in my hot little hands at the moment, if you're listening, I've actually got the original PlayStation release of this game.
Glad you made the noise with it. Would have thought you were lying.
Well, it's here.
Just hit your microphone with it. Go on. Ear rape.
Back in 2001, the PC got the release of In Cold Blood. Now, did either of you guys play that game?
Never heard of it.
Really?
The hell is that? I'm Googling it now. In Cold Blood.
Luke, I would have thought you would have picked this one up for sure, being that you're a fan of spy type games.
Nah, mate. I've never played a video game in my life. This is all a ruse.
It's all a ruse. Don't know what you're talking about.
Just to get chicks. And then you worked out that wasn't working.
I've never seen this in my life. I'm Googling it. None of this rings a bell. If you could have told me this game never existed, and I'd have believed you.
All right.
To be honest, I've never heard of it either.
Oh, suck.
It looks cool.
It is very cool. Cool.
Cold?
It was
Cold
originally
even.
released on the original PlayStation, published by Dreamcatcher Interactive, and developed by Revolution Software. It's a puzzler / spy shooter espionage type thing.
Yeah, it looks like
So you
it
can
would have
either be
been
stealth.
up my alley.
I reckon it would have been. Have you got a PS1? Because I still have the original disc, as you can hear.
Yes, I do. Oh, Jude. You can play PS1 games in your PS3.
Oh, yeah, you can, can't you? All right, you can't have it because I'm going to play it first.
I mean, I've got a PS1. You have to have a PS1.
All right, cool. All right. So let's get in with some game talk. All right, we're going to start with you this week, Lucas.
Of course. Right.
Yes, we are. Because you've been playing a lot of this, and you've been playing lots of weird and wonderful user-made tracks.
Yes.
So I want to hear about Trials.
Right. Trials Rising. I've put a fair bit of time into that. That's the main thing I've been playing. Pretty close to the only thing I've been playing, really. And yeah, I've made a couple of videos which are up on our YouTube channel of playing the what do they call it? They're the track central tracks, which are basically the community tracks that are made using the editor that's in the game. I can't make the tracks; they're way too tricky for me. But yeah, there's some really cool ones on there. They even now have the tools to make your own bikes. So they're making bikes for the custom tracks that aren't even in the main game, which is pretty damn impressive. So they've remade the TKO Panda from the previous game, which was the Forerunner,
The quad bike.
Quad bike. Thank you. That's better. And today I did one with a Harley Davidson, which basically just had a really fat rear wheel on it. I've done a couple of Super Mario Brothers tracks. The one that I did today, which is up on the video that's up from today, was it was actually Yoshi. They turned the bike into Yoshi, so you've got like a little Mario looking dude sitting on Yoshi as a motorbike, which was
That looks pretty sick, I must admit.
pretty cool. Yeah, and yeah, just a few other ones that were really they catch my eye, you know, like, and I make a video on them. So I've had a really good time with it. Also playing through like the campaign, unlocking all the new tracks. God, there's a lot of tracks. There's a lot more tracks than there were in the first game. Previous game. And I've still got a lot to unlock that I haven't done yet. One of my biggest achievements probably in streaming of all time occurred earlier in the week when I was live streaming Trials, and all of a sudden I had a notification pop up that I had a new follower, and I've looked over and read it and went, hey, thanks for following Uni of Trials. Hey, Professor Fat Shady followed me. How cool is that? Now you guys know who it is now because I've explained it to you, haven't I?
Yes.
No.
Oh, you don't know?
No, I don't. Sorry, mate.
Oh, that's all right. Another person that doesn't listen. I think I was.
You were the first person.
I was the first one. Yeah.
So we just have to find something that I haven't listened to.
Yes, that's right.
And then we're all equal.
No, Professor Fat Shady is a long-time supporter and player of the Trials games. He's created his own YouTube channel called University of Trials, and he would make like tutorials on how to consistently pass the Trials levels. And he's done that for years. And over the last 2 years, unbeknown to anybody else, he's been working with Ubisoft to create the tutorial and the voiceover for the tutorial in Trials Rising. So there you go. Like, this is the dude who actually is in the game. His voiceover, his likeness, and his tracks. He built the tutorials, and he's Aussie.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's also a New South Welshman as far as I know. But Yeah, he come and followed me, and he had a chat with me and was saying, you know, got to follow and support the fellow Aussies and all that sort of stuff. I've watched a few of his streams, and he's actually a really cool dude. So I was really blown away that night that he followed me, and yeah, I think that's probably the best of it, really.
Oh, that's awesome, mate.
Yeah, but no, I'm loving Trials. Did you guys want to ask or know anything about Trials or?
I want to know sort of how they go about the difference in view. So the general, you know, when you're working through the main game before you go into the other ones, you've got, you know, a very specific way that the view and the camera sort of follows the bike.
Yeah.
Yet a lot of these community-made ones that I've seen, it's just side-on view only.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. What do you mean side-on view only?
Well, it kind of looks 2D as opposed to following in 3D.
Okay, well that's there are some of the,
like for instance, I watched the one with you riding Yoshi. That sounds wrong.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that had that, like it was 3D but in a 2D sort of.
Yeah, that one was designed where it's flat on. But if you have a look at the one where I did with the
Mario Kart wasn't. That was very sort of.
That was off to the side
view.
Yeah, that's right. But the one I did today with the Harley Davidson, that I found that was too far. It was almost a chase cam, which made it really hard. And
was that one that was very technical?
Oh, it was a bit tricky.
Like
no. That not the ninja one. No, not the ninja one.
Okay.
That one, I think the camera was fairly standard for that one. But the main game changes the camera around too. It does sometimes the straight on and sometimes further back or whatever. Yeah. It's just something you can choose. But they're very creative with those user created tracks.
I thought the one where you just drive up the ever steeper hills.
Oh yeah,
I thought that was a really cool idea.
It's simple, but it's challenging.
The first time you do it, you're like, this is a piece of piss, and then it's just getting harder.
Yeah,
harder. And you're like, oh, hang on, this isn't as easy. And then when you got the third one and you mucked it up, and it sent you all the way back to the bottom again.
Yeah,
so you had to start all over again. It was like, that's pretty clever.
But I miraculously didn't stack, so I could actually have another crack at it. But yeah, there's just so many, and the thing is, the tracks just keep growing. So over the time, community members are continually making tracks. So you're never going to run out of content. And some of these tracks, I would arguably say, most of the tracks created by people are as good as, sometimes even better, than the ones the devs made. And so it's just an infinite amount of free DLC. Like, I was playing Trials Rising towards the end there of Trials Fusion. I had finished all the tracks and all that sort of stuff, and except for the super hard ones that I couldn't do. So when I would go back, I would just go straight to Track Central, just play new stuff, and just keep playing new stuff over and over again, because there's just new stuff every day. So you never run out of tracks that you've never done before. You know, and if you find a really cool one, you send a challenge across to one of your mates. Okay, try that one. It's a good track. So, yeah, look, the Trials games have always been a big favourite of mine. I've always challenged you guys to play it because, you know, I suck at every other game. This game, for some reason, I'm pretty good at, and you guys don't put any time in it to get any better. So... and every time I challenge you guys, not playing it. Fuck that. But anyway.
I don't believe I've ever used the phrase, I'm not doing that, fuck that.
I have.
Yeah, there we go.
Here's Grejio, Mr. Literal. Take from that what you will. Whatever you said, insert what you said here. And then... I
said, yeah, let's play. And then you beat me, and I was like, fair enough, you're clearly better than I am.
When did that happen?
The last time we played Trials, I quite happily accepted you were better than me.
Oh, well, I was probably happy enough with that.
Exactly.
All right. Okay, well, anyway.
Well, yeah.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, moving on from that, I've got something else I want to
Move.
talk about. You can come back to me if you like.
All right, I'll come back around to you. As in the chat's asking, does anyone still play Sea of Thieves?
Mm,
Simple answer.
is that No Man's Sky game in water?
On the water, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. No.
No.
I think Rem
What?
every now and then picks it up and plays with it, but I wouldn't say she still plays it. So
Yeah, I do a bit of the same. Have a bit of a sail around. I think every time lately that I've been playing it, I've been in the same party as Az. So that's due for another update soon. Anyway, Grejio, Forza.
yeah. So
Give us a quick rundown of what's changed in the car racing game.
Surely it's not
so-
changed since last week.
Well, it hasn't changed since last week, but I have a better understanding of how it now works. So there's a few things that I want to try and shore up. So last week I brought up the idea, brought up the whole thing about the festival playlist, and I brought up there's elements of it that seemed really grindy, like the PvP sort of playing.
Sorry, I just got Skrill in the chat. There's a HSV section and a Holden section.
That's right. They're two separate companies in the game, funnily enough, just like they are in real life.
And
Anyway,
have a look at them. They look exactly the fucking same.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I found out this week that some of the weekly stuff actually carries across the monthly, and I guess it's going to sound a bit confusing to sit down and explain it unless you're actually looking in the game. But so the PvP element where you had to have qualified for ranked, once you do that in the first week, you actually don't have to do it again for the rest of it still pops up as like a monthly challenge every week, but you only have to do it the first time. Once you've done it, it actually counts for every other week. So you don't have to redo it every week, which would be grindy as hell. But what it does mean, I have found out that if you don't do every single daily challenge for the week, you will fail that 100%. So that's the one thing you got to stay on top of. And I actually got the 98% and failed because I missed 2 daily challenges because I just didn't log in on the days to do them. So that's kind of the crux of it. I've also worked out that you pretty much only have to get 100% for the month. I think you only have to do about 2 of the 4 weeks worth of content. So you don't have to do everything, which is nice. You'll still have to do everything if you want the 100% cars for every week, but the 100% car for the month, you only have to probably do about 2 weeks worth of content. So that's where I've sort of I understand it a bit better now. So yeah, there's if you've already a lot of it, a lot of the seasonal challenges are cycling through again. It looks like they've got a playlist and they just play through them. And if you've already completed them before, you can't complete them again for the same prize. So it just comes up as automatically done. So there's like the last week in the month, which will be autumn. I'm already like 14 or 20% done with that week, and it hasn't even come yet because I've already done the PvP element, and there's a couple of the seasonal events that I've already completed previously in months gone. So yeah, it's interesting. I'll be interested to see what happens after reset, after this first month is done, how that comes about. Otherwise, in a couple of months' time, I'll have done everything, and it'll just be clicking over. I'll just constantly be, it'd be weird. So I'll see. I'm interested to see how that works. So anyway, I'll keep you posted when I find out.
Awesome. Would help if I hit unmute to talk. All right. Well, something that we've all played before I get into my huge list of gaming for the week is Call of Duty. The good old
Giddy up.
Modern Warfare. Did you enjoy yourself, mate?
Yeah, we had a ball, man.
I know, right?
Like, this time last week, we had an absolute ball playing that game.
Yeah.
And you're right.
It very quickly comes back, doesn't it?
You're right. It does. Like, I was surprised I kind of, there was part of me that was just like, I'm really doing this just to play with you guys, because there's very few times at the moment where we get to sit down to a game and all of us play at once and enjoy that time together. So as much as I liked it, I was happy to leave that game in the past, but it's almost like I forgot how fun that game is and how quickly I just started. I almost got to the point where I was like, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to jump back on and play this game. Now I didn't, because I didn't have time, but like if I get an opportunity again, I'll be jumping on and playing, because I really enjoyed myself. And I didn't suck completely like I thought I might.
I was a little bit embarrassed by my performance.
That's the thing, I think. It's just, you play a couple of games, you start to get into the swing of it. If you have a few bad rounds, it's one of those things that, 10 years ago, it was the be-all and end-all, and you had to be good at it. It was, it was the big, everyone was being so stupidly competitive. Now that we're having a crack at it, it's just good fun. That's how I see it anyway.
Yeah, look, I give myself a bad rap. I don't do too bad, but I'm just not as good as I was once, and I'm always comparing myself to, 17-year-old. Oh, was I that young? No, probably not. Hell, maybe 22-year-old Lucas, who was a lot better. But anyway.
But we were all a lot better the first time it come around. Now it's just fun. Well, the big game for me, or do you want to go back to yours, Lucas, or?
Oh, I don't care. Whatever you want.
Well, I've been playing the Division 2. Yeah. That's it. Constantly. I get up in the morning, I want to play the Division 2. I come home of an afternoon, I want to play the Division 2. It has well and truly stuck its claws back into me. I'm just enjoying it. The world is so alive. It is so beautiful. I can't just describe how much fun I'm having. Just everything's there from the first one, but I'm starting to get the sense now that I've gotten a little bit further in the game, I'm getting a sense that it's just like pushing to take back this area and to get all this stuff done and to go and get the projects done and build up the levels and sort of help out and do what I've got to do. Because this one, whereas the first one kind of felt very, I think I said it last week, it felt more about survival and finding out what happened. This one feels more about the revival and getting back in front of everything. But I do have a few public service announcements.
Okay.
Just to help those who are jumping in or are sort of toiling away. And, it can feel a little bit grindy. So hopefully a couple of these things will help out. First of all, look up. There are loot boxes scattered throughout the place, but they're not like a lot of other games where you'll find them, hiding down an alleyway or something like that. They're actually supply drops that have been dropped into the game and gotten stuck either in a tree, on a crane, in a building, or something like that. So you've got to look up, and they're all littered throughout the map, and they've got some really good weapons in there.
You have to shoot them to get them down or something?
Yes, you shoot them and the weapons drop out of it. And generally you'll get, a decent weapon, a mod, or a piece of gear, and a dye pack, which you can change the color of your gear, like a skin sort of thing. So there's that one. Second of all, don't play side missions until you're closer to level 20. The side missions actually scale with your level. Doesn't matter what part of the map they're in. So go through and do the main missions first, and then come back and do the side missions.
So better XP and loot?
Better XP and loot. Everything scales up with you. The enemies scale up with you as well, obviously. So they do get harder, and they do take a little bit longer to do later on, but it's worth the payout at the end. The projects. So in different areas, you open up settlements. In those settlements, they're kind of like a little hub. It's a little world within the world that people are in there, setting up a clinic, setting up a theatre, growing their own stuff, setting up solar power, trying to get back in front of things. In those settlements, you've got projects where you have to do X, Y, Z in certain parts of the map. They give you massive XP boosts. So keep an eye out on them. You've got to go back in and check on them. And they could be something as simple as find SHD items in this area, or, donate 3 masks. And they all sort of count towards building that project up and finishing it. And then, the settlement gets XP, or the settlement grows and gets new things, and you get an absolute butt ton of XP. And the last but not least, one I haven't gotten to yet, but I've been told, is if you're trophy hunting, before you get to end game, go and do all the main missions on hard. Because once you get to end game, there is a new enemy. So you've got 2 factions of enemies in the main game as you're playing through, which off the top of my head I can't remember. But at the end, you've got another group of enemy that comes back in and takes over the city, because they're just violent, feral, kind of like those the hunter agents from the first one. They're that sort of level of ability and whatnot, and they're called the Black Tusks, and they just come back in and take over the city, and then you've got to start and re-go through, and that's where you start doing all your strongholds and things like that. So get in early, get all your stuff done, make sure you're higher level, because end game is apparently exceptionally brutal. And I'm in no hurry to get there, I've spoken to a lot of people, I've watched a lot of different streams, and a lot of people have raced through to get to end game. I'm just finding so much stuff to do within the world that's just absolutely brilliant. There are so many little things that you wouldn't expect. Like there's little secrets to find, and there's little hotels to find. Anyone that's looking for them, go and have a wander around and try and look off the beaten path where there's a balloon tied on something. And you go and find this little area, and it's a hotel. And it's just literally someone's made up a sign that says, such and such's hotel. And it's just a little thing to find. Generally, you find a bit of loot in there that's usually pretty cool. But, there's so much to do. I'm loving it.
All right. Well, I've got a question for you.
Uh-huh.
There was essentially what I thought was a bit of a fatal flaw for the first game. And I want to know if it's the same thing in the second one. And something tells me it probably is.
Mm-hmm.
For me to start playing the game now and play through the game with you, is it possible to do?
Yes.
Now, do you mean yes, it's possible to do, as in you can join me? Or yes, it's possible to do, all the enemies don't scale to your level and absolutely decimate me?
No, you scale to my level.
Right, and that works good?
That works brilliantly. For instance, I've been playing with Roy Boy quite a bit. I'm about 4 levels in front of him. And as I was talking in stream last night as well, the matchmaking is exceptionally good. So a lot of times I've had people that have match made with me who have been a lower level, and they'll jump in at this lower level. And for instance, yesterday I was level 19. I think Roy was 15, and he scaled up to be level 18 sort of power. So all this sort of stuff that he was doing when he was running around by himself using the same sort of weapons, he was using a level 11 weapon and taking out level 19, level 20 characters.
Okay, all right. So they've addressed that, because that was something that that I don't ever think got fixed in the first one, and it essentially meant that if you didn't play it at the same time as your friends, it was absolutely pointless. Unless
you'd run in somewhere with them and hide.
You just hide, because you can't do any damage because they're way too bullet spongy. And you'll get absolutely decimated by being shot by them. So you literally hide, and you get all the benefits of XP at the end of the mission, but you literally do nothing. And it's not fun. And I hated that. That was so shit because in the first one, when we were playing through that, you know, I'd play it on release and be on par and everything was all good. And then I'd have to go away and not play for a night or two, come back and everybody else has either hit the level cap or they're, 10 levels above me. And yeah. I couldn't play. I got the shits and just, don't worry about it. I'll just play on my own. It's absolute. That was broken as far as I'm concerned for a co-op game. Mm-hmm. But
100% fixed.
They fixed that. That's good. That's really good to hear.
Mind you, if you walk into an area by yourself that's of higher level than you are, you will get slaughtered.
Oh yeah, well that's normal.
If you don't have your wits, the AI in this game is ruthless. If you don't have your wits about you, they will quite happily flank you. And even though they're gangsters that shoot an Uzi, side on, every one of their bullets will hit and they will destroy you.
Yeah, well that's normal. That's fair.
That's very normal. But the builds, I've already started playing with builds and I'm not even at endgame yet. It's very in depth and it's got everything there from the first one that I really enjoyed, and then it's built on top of that.
Yeah, and I still have absolutely, sometimes you get home, or maybe it's the wrong audience to be talking to, but so you just, it's dinner time, but you're just not in the mood you just want to eat. You ever get that? Yeah. Probably not.
Yeah.
But
it happens rarely, but it does happen.
Yeah, that sort of feeling. Well, that's the same thing with me and the Division 2. I'm just like, I'd play it, but I just don't want to. I just got no drive, no hunger for it.
No, that's fair.
I
was the same with Anthem. What I've played of Anthem, I've enjoyed reasonably. I just don't have the want to push forward with it.
Well, I don't play it anymore. I got my fill from it. But plus, there's nobody really to play with. But I don't want to play. I don't even have the drive because I wanted to play the campaign of Anthem. I wasn't sure if I'd go beyond because I'm sick of games like that. But I just don't even have the want to go and play the Division 2 for the story. I don't even want to do that. I think I'm just sick of those games.
No,
I've played too many of them.
Complete sense.
Yeah.
And it's the thing with me is how hooked I got on the first one. So not only am I loving the story, I'm more interested in the side stories. So you've still got echoes to find. You've got all these little collectibles to find. There are so many things within the world that, for instance, you were watching the stream that I was doing last night, and I actually had to take a moment because one thing that I've always wanted to see in real life is the Lincoln Memorial, the statue. And the fact that I had to go back and take back the memorial from, the whoever was taking over it, it just sort of had that moment where I got to go in and see it. Yes, it's in a video game. I've seen it 100 times in movies, YouTube videos, whatever. But it was just another thing where it's like, okay, well, this character's a reflection of me, so he's standing there. And it was just, there's so much story within the story that's what's hooked me, more so than the main drive itself. It's cool.
Yeah. But, me, I'm more hooked on Trials and the other game that I want to talk about, which is my massive disappointment that I wanted to talk about.
All right, well, let's jump into that one, mate.
All right. Well, I've come to a realization today, which was a big disappointment for me. It's something that, look, is it my fault or is this just a really shitty practice that needs to change? On Steam, I purchased a game called Generation Zero. And on the Steam listing, it says release date, 26th of March, 2019. So I was all excited to download the game and play it for a midnight launch tonight. But guess what? It doesn't fucking launch until 5 p.m. tomorrow, Australian Eastern Standard Time. That's fucking shit. That is really shit. I'm so mad about that.
I'm mad for you. So what midnight time is that?
I have no idea. No idea.
I'm not going to bother looking for it.
But it's so shit
Steam's
because
upgraded.
Yeah,
Steam's updated to have Australian
currency.
coin,
Yeah.
currency.
Why not Australian release dates?
Oh man, you know what? That indeed sucked.
Yeah.
I
that's
was
shit.
even planning on staying up to watch it with you.
Not going to happen. Be tomorrow night now. But I'm so annoyed because the reason I found out is that I tweeted at Generation Zero today saying, is there going to be some sort of preloading or anything like that so I don't have to download the game at midnight? And somebody else, I haven't got a reply yet from Generation Zero, but I got a reply from a community member saying the devs have said 24 hours before release. And I replied back going, it's 12 hours before release. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, oh no. I went back to the store and it said 1 day and 5 hours or whatever it was. I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. I was like all revved up for this, so excited for it, you know, and I'm free tomorrow, not doing anything, so I can stay up at midnight and play the game, and it doesn't even release. I should have made contact with the devs and asked for a review code or something, then I would have got it, because their embargo finished tonight, like it's finished now. So there'll be people streaming it now. But, yeah, not till 5 p.m. tomorrow night now. So angry. Because you go to the Steam listing and it says release date 26th of March. And I've just gone, oh, well, 26 starts at midnight, as everything does.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that they could pick and choose whether they did local time or their own time. Because there are games that launch at midnight here. Like your big AAA games. Big AAA games, like if you bought, say, for example...
The Division 2.
The Division 2,
at midnight here.
That'd be on midnight on, it's not on Steam, but same sort of thing, but it just, so angry. Like, what a bad start to something I was looking forward to. They've basically waiting it. So
I don't get it, because it's, where's the dev team for this? Are they like in India?
Oh, no, look, I don't know.
Or like Eastern Europe?
Maybe. They all had accents. They got
Like-
strong accents,
Like
so maybe.
Ukraine or somewhere like that? Because that's kind of where it would be midnight at that
Well,
time.
the game's set in Sweden, so I don't know if they're Swedish.
Well, even then, that wouldn't make sense either, so...
But look, on top of that,
It's really weird.
we are now currently within 24 hours of the release date, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
I still don't have an install button. So I can't, I don't have the ability to preload yet, so I don't even know if that's going to work. I'm so pissed off. Dumb. So if I go to the store page, it says available 26th of March. This game will unlock in approximately 21 hours. Well, that's more than halfway through 26th of March. That's almost the 27th.
Yeah. That does suck.
Yep. So that's my disappointing thing. Not happy about it.
Oh, I'm disappointed for you too, mate.
So I'm automatically going to give them a 0 out of 10 when I do my review. That's fair, isn't it? Generation Zero people. Who are they? Avalanche Studios. You and your friggin' 1980s Sweden, with the local population has disappeared and hostile machines roam the streets. I don't care if it sounds awesome. I want to prepare myself to strike back. Play alone or together with up to 3 friends as you discover different ways to defeat the invaders.
Oh, all right. Well,
I'm done.
we'll leave that one there and go on to the news.
Okay.
I've got some games releasing this week.
You do? What'd you make?
For no, not for me. I've found a couple of games that are being released this week.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The on the Switch, Final Fantasy VII was out on March 26th.
Oh, cool. That's only been released 19,000 times already.
I was going to say, welcome 1999.
MLB The Show 19.
Spoiler alert,
the
the princess...
release of...
No, I was...
No. Baseball game on the PS4 is again out on March 26th. Yoshi's Crafted World on the Switch.
Hi, that looks cool.
Actually.
Yeah, it does look cool.
That looks pretty cool. That's out on March 29. Also on March 29 is Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered.
Radicus. The battery runs out before the cutscene ends.
That'd be about right too, yeah.
Oh, dear. It's not Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah, no.
What'd you say? Assassin's Creed 3, another one that, 2004, whenever that was.
Yeah, it's been remastered for including all the previous released DLC and a second game, Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation.
Oh, that's
and
the
Assassin's Creed Odyssey season pass holders get the whole package for free.
Liberation, I think, was that the DLC for it, I think?
Yeah.
It was like a standalone DLC where you played that. Can't remember his name, so I'm going to say the black dude.
Yeah, possibly.
Oh, what was his name?
All right. And also releasing on the 26th is, of course, Generation Zero. 26 in some places.
26.8.
Depends where you are in the world.
Yes.
New Delhi, you're on point.
All right, Grejio, tell us the news that all the PC fans have been so excited for.
Well, they are pretty excited. And I would be too if I was a PC person. So 343 Studios announced a little while back that Halo and all its glory, all the games in all its glory are coming to Steam, so that all you PC players can enjoy what Xbox has been enjoying for years. As a side note to that, there was a Reddit.
Do they get the remastered, or have they got to play through the original first?
No, it's the Master Chief Collection.
It's the Master Chief Collection.
Well, that's no fun.
Yeah. Why?
Because that'd be funny. That's all.
Even if that were the case, they would still buy each game individually and still play them in whatever order they liked.
They had some of the original games already on PC, haven't they?
Yeah, I meant the whole graphically or whatever.
Yeah, I think this is the whole big deal. It's the Master Chief Collection, the remastered stuff that's coming to PC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so on the back of this, there's a Reddit called I'm gonna have a crack at his name. You Makagagas. If you're listening, I apologize.
Spot on.
But that'll do. He put up a Reddit suggesting that all PC players that are going to pick up the Halo collection use their old Xbox gamer tags as their usernames for Halo, so they can find all their old school buddies that they used to play with, kind of like a big Halo reunion. Which I thought was, it's one of those nice stories that, we always bring up stuff that's always sort of crappy, but this is a nice one. So at the moment, it's got about 10,000 upvotes on it. There's a few people that have made jokes about the fact that, they haven't changed their gamer tags since the original Halo, and there was even one person that said his gamer tag was older than half the people on Reddit. And then I thought about it and went, my gamer tag's older than the internet, so what's that saying about me? So that's due out on Steam. On a side note, while I was researching this article, another one popped up, which was about the actual the announcement that 343 did to say that it was going to be released. And there was a Redditor that put up previously that if they could confirm that this was going to happen, that he would send 343 Studios pizza. Well, of course, once they did that, the Halo fan base went nuts and started sending pizza to 343 Studios until literally the head dev had to put out a tweet saying, please stop sending pizzas. One,
Oh,
our receptionist is away, and this is becoming a logistical nightmare.
that
And
must
then on top of that, we're worried about all the wastage of pizza that we've got because there was like
that explains
3 or 4
it.
pizzas on the desk.
Yeah, that explains what happened on when they did the Inside Xbox, because I did a video on it. It's on our YouTube. But during Inside Xbox, while they were talking and announcing the Master Chief Collection, the dude came out and gave them pizza.
Yes. Yes, this is
because
why.
of that reason. There you go.
Yes. So yeah, they were inundated with pizza. So once again, it's just one of those really cool feel-good stories of the week.
And Azrael, are you asking, was it true that there was a little Master Chief stent on the motherboard? Yes, that is true.
Yes. Yeah, on the Scorpio.
Yeah, it was on Scorpio, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It had Master Chief riding a scorpion going, "Ooh," like
Yeah.
that.
Yes, it was, that's right.
Alrighty, well, if any of you two and those listening along, any of you excited for Mortal Kombat 11?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah? No, not really.
No.
I think I'm past them. I still enjoy having a look at them, but yeah, I saw some news come up today. Shang Tsung is coming to Mortal Kombat 11 as the first DLC character. But that's not the cool bit. The cool bit is that the likeness is actually for the actor from the original movie, which is Kerry. I'm going to butcher this. Hiroyuki Tagawa.
Oh, yep, nailed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Beautiful. Yeah, so he was from the original. He played Shang Tsung in the original movie, and his likeness is actually now going to be in Mortal Kombat. I'm
Very
sorry,
good.
but I find that to be exceptionally cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Isn't it?
Now you can see his skull getting cracked open every time you punch him in the face.
Awesome.
I actually watched. They've been doing these like drip feeder character reveals over the last several weeks. Just every week they're just dropping another character, and this week was Noob Saibot. He was just dropped, I think, yesterday or in the last 24 hours or so. I'm going to say, up until now, Noob Saibot has been a bit of a nothing character, but they have made him a straight up badass in this game. I couldn't believe. I watched the video and went, I would play as him. He's cool as. Like, he's got a lot of teleporting abilities. He's got a scythe for a weapon, and he has like this shadow character that plays with him almost. So a lot of your combos have your shadow character like also attacking your opponent. So you do like double teams and stuff like that. It actually looks really cool.
Do you know the story behind where Noob Saibot got his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
you do? Oh, well, never mind then.
Yes.
Moving on.
Sure. Do you want to tell it for the rest of the people that are sitting there going, but we don't know?
Nah, we'll let them stew on it.
They can Google it.
They can look back through
The
it. Go and listen to some of the early ones.
No, I'll tell them that. It won't be that mean. The two creators of the original Mortal Kombat series was Ed Boon, and I don't remember the other guy's full name, but it was Tobias. And both of those backwards, Boon backwards is Noob, Tobias backwards is Saibot.
Yep.
That's it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, mate. I'm interested, Greg. New models for the Switch.
New
I hadn't
models
heard
for the
about
Switch.
Anything about this until you brought it up?
Yeah, well, it was news to me when I first came across it. But when I read it, I was just like, yeah, that makes sense. So Nintendo is looking at bringing out 2 new models of the Switch. One is going to be for the avid gamer, so take that as the Switch Pro or the Switch X, whatever you want to classify it as. But it's going to be obviously a more powerful, more features-packed kind of Switch. And then there's going to be a cheaper version, which is for the more casual gamer, and they're kind of using it as a successor to the 3DS, which is now starting to get a bit long in the tooth. So that's kind of what the cheaper model is going to be sort of aimed towards. There's going to be an announcement at E3 about it that'll give us the full rundown, and then it is slated. They're both slated for a 2019 release. So I'm going to suggest that announcement at E3, get all the specs, and then by Christmas we'll be looking at 2 new Switches for just in time for Christmas presents. So
looks like my daughter's going to get a Switch for Christmas.
Yeah, your old one.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Daddy's getting a Switch Pro.
Yeah, that's right.
Just wrap it back up.
Still more powerful than a PS4, says Azrael. Listen, Xbox fangirl, careful, because the Xbox was a piece of junk for many years before the X came out.
Still playing on that piece of junk, mind you.
You are
Still works.
through and through a battler.
It still works. I still enjoy playing it.
Oh, dear.
Well, I'm going to throw this bit out because Radicus did ask about it further up the chat. Google's come out and announced a new gaming platform.
Stevia.
The Google Stevia.
Stevia.
Yeah, just like sweetener. The Google Stadia, a complete streaming service. So all you need is an internet and a controller. Just plug the internet into your TV, and away you go. Everyone in Australia went, "Oh, this sounds awesome," and then they saw it was streaming and went, "Next." So, what do you guys think of it?
Well, like I said, before we started, I brought this up a couple of months back in the show when they first started talking about it, and not much has changed from what I can tell with what they're claiming the specs are. So, what they're saying is, you need, what was it? I think they were claiming you needed like 10 down to play 1080p quality games.
No, 10 down's not going to work. No, surely that's not.
And then
Not gonna do it, mate.
and
I can't
25,
watch freaking 1080 Netflix at 10 down.
I'm repeating. I'm the messenger. All right. I'm not.
Lies.
I'm
You're
Yes.
repeating lies.
Is this Chinese whispers? 100 megabyte down, 40 megabyte down. Hi, I'm Grejio on the Aussie Gamers Experience podcast, and it needs 10 down.
Fuck off. I'm just repeating. All right. And it was 25 for 4K. Okay.
Fuck off. That is not 25 megabytes a second, maybe.
I'm just saying. That's.
I
what they
wouldn't
said.
be surprised if it was 10
Look it up.
megabytes.
If you don't believe me, look it up.
I don't want to look it up because I don't care.
Okay, let's
Don't
put
sit
this.
here and argue with me.
I'm going to buy a PS5.
Let's
I don't give a shit.
Let's
what
put
Google's
this
doing.
in perspective, okay? So I've got a Steam Link, which streams from my PC as the server to my TV in the lounge room, which is about 15 meters away, and probably not even. And that uses a server connection, Ethernet, which is the modem speed, 300 megabits a second, and it has trouble doing 1080p.
I'm reading it right here.
The inter-
4K, 60 frames at 30 meg.
That is not going to work. Their fucking their heads are up their assholes.
They can be up their assholes all they like.
Well,
That's what they're
it's just-
claiming. All right.
It's just like every game company this generation. Yeah, 4K 30. Yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I'm not saying it's gonna work. I'm just saying that's what they're claiming.
Yeah.
I'm on the bandwagon with you guys. I think it's nuts, but
Yeah,
I'm just reporting the news.
yeah. Look, until the internet is infallible, like a TV signal. Basically, the TV signal, like you never have issues with a TV signal, right? Other than if you've got a fucked aerial or whatever. Until the internet is as instant and as reliable as something like a radio wave, it's like, this sort of shit can't be viable, and if they're quite content only having it in the US where their minimum speeds are 300 down, well, then it'll never come here. I can't imagine this working in Australia when we probably won't get it. Just like with, what was the PlayStation one called? PlayStation Next or something? That never came here. Now, that's right. Next is what I did as I moved on. That never came here. That was a service in the States, and regardless of whether you had fast enough internet, you couldn't actually use it here because they didn't allow it, because they didn't want you to have a bad experience with it. This Stadia or whatever, if it does take off, it won't take off here. Not for a while.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Stupid.
Anyway, I've also got the finalists for the 2019 World Video Game Hall of Fame.
That was me. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. All right. The nominations are a mix of classic arcade, iconic franchises, and even Microsoft Solitaire. So we've got Sid Meier's Civilization, Super Mario Kart, Super Smash Bros. Melee, NBA 2K, Myst, Mortal Kombat, Microsoft Solitaire, Half-Life, Dance Dance Revolution, Colossal Cave Adventure, Centipede, and Candy Crush. Anything there stand out for you as what you guys had put into the 2019 Hall of Fame?
Dance Dance Revolution for sure.
We're trying to have a serious discussion here.
Sorry.
Centipede?
Snake game.
That's not in there.
Didn't you say that?
Out of the ones I just... No? Oh, yes, Centipede. No, there it is, yep.
I thought I was going mad.
Yeah, I was there for a second.
Oh, dear. Oh, my God. Like, fuck, I'm sure I just heard you say that. Someone's on autopilot.
Yeah, I think so.
Have another rum, buddy.
I haven't. I've just finished the bourbon.
I was just told that I'm not allowed to vote for Dance Dance Revolution unless there's a video of me playing it.
That sounds fair. That sounds very much
so
fair.
I redact my vote.
In just your undies.
Oh, God.
Look, I don't want to break the internet.
Borat Mankini?
Don't laugh. I have something very similar.
Oh, God.
Why?
It was given to me as a joke gift.
Sure it was.
Well,
and you use it every day. How many times have you worn it?
Once.
It's got a hole in the
He
crotch.
actually put it on.
Yep. Hey, look. Like I said, I was going to make the joke on them.
Can I borrow it?
I think once you look at it and you realize what parts of the body that it's been
Touched.
on and in me,
Yeah,
I'm not sure you're going to want to wear it.
Hey, Radicus, I don't have any blow-up sheep. I've got real sheep.
That all wear gumboots, funnily enough.
I've got Velcro gloves. So I can pull on a woolly.
Exactly. Centipede's probably a good choice, but I think I'd put Mortal Kombat in there.
I've forgotten what the other ones were now, but yeah, Mortal Kombat sounds good.
Mortal Kombat sounds good. I was tossing up between Mortal Kombat and Myst. Either of you guys play Myst?
No.
Rem's a big fan of Myst. She loves Myst.
Okay.
So.
All right. Yeah. Well, Myst was brilliant. I can remember that one stuck with me for a while. But Mortal Kombat had so many, it had so many firsts. I think I'm surprised it's not in there already. Mm. But for those listening along at home, send us some details. Let us know what you think should go in there, and hopefully I'll get some more information through when it's all done. Nice. All right, Grejio, what is Disney reviving? It's reviving another classic.
Another classic. It's definitely a classic. It's reviving Lucasfilm games.
Mm-hmm.
After it in the 90s changed it from Lucasfilm Games to LucasArts. And then in 2013, it shut it down, fired a bunch of staff, about 150 people, essentially turning it from an internal development of games to a licensing model, which allowed them to sort of it gave them a broader scope. It gave them more games of better quality, especially around the Star Wars franchise that they didn't have the money or time to sort of input into kind of thing, but they did want, obviously, the license to make the money. So anyway, it seems that they're reviving it now. There's been a few rumors about why they're doing this.
Like, first one that comes to mind is the
Money.
the backlash that EA has copped.
So I guess there's two groups of rumors. There's the rumors about why Disney would want to do this and why EA might want to get out. So starting with the EA rumors, the CEO, Andrew Wilson, apparently has never been happy with the Star Wars deal that they've had with Disney.
Yep.
He's also been quoted as being quite open about the fact that he's always wanted EA to produce their own intellectual property as opposed to working on other people's. Mainly because it's a case of they have less control over the finished product in their mind. So in terms of creating a game versus using someone else's intellectual property, you can create a game and you can turn around and go, that's who the character is. You don't have to justify who the character is. They can be whoever you want them to be, and the story can be what you want it to be, and then you can put it out. Whereas when you're making a game like Star Wars for another company that's licensed it to you, you can do all that, but then you have to run checks and balances by them and why their motivation is the way it is, and they can have input saying, we actually don't think that Luke Skywalker would, have
not to mention that Star
an
Wars,
emo haircut or whatever. He's also been quoted to say that everyone thinks that it'd be really cool to work on a Star Wars game, but he actually thinks it sucks. Which, in my opinion, I'm like, dude, reality check. You're working on a Star Wars game. That'd be awesome. Anyway,
no, I could see it. You'd have very little room for
scope,
like creative freedom, so to speak. Yeah.
So then there's obviously Disney's the rumors around Disney. So apparently they've met with EA to work out the poor reception and what Disney perceives as poor perception and how they can fix it. But at the same time, they've also, what's the word I'm looking for? It's also known that there have been talking to Ubisoft and Activision about taking over the license.
Okay.
And apparently there is an addendum within the contract with EA where if they don't meet certain standards and conditions, that Disney has the right to pull the license from them. So these are just some rumors. These aren't necessarily the reason why it's a good reason why they might be bringing Lucasfilm games back. However, there's nothing in concrete that's the legitimate, the genuine reason. Another thing that's kind of helped with all these sort of rumors, it's definitely happening because they've already put job listings out for stuff around creating production managers and stuff like that. And
it could be something very just completely simple that they're still going to use the same sort of model that EA has been using, where other companies have been developing it and EA has been publishing it.
Yep.
And this new Lucas Games will act as a publisher, because let's face it, Disney's got more money than Australia.
Yep.
And it's something they're not short of, and it could just be a way to sort of pull things a bit more in-house.
Yeah. Well, the only other information I could get out of it was within the job listings, there was nothing to mention Star Wars specifically, but it did say that it did request that they be across all major consoles. So whatever's coming is coming across everything. So
Return of Day of the Tentacle.
Maybe. Maybe we get a whole new 4K revamped, restylized tentacle
Point and click adventure.
fart joke. Look, I wouldn't be upset with that. I would like to see a brand new point and click adventure. I mean, just like another, either an indie game or a Monkey Island game, or even
Leisure
say
Suit Larry. Yeah.
Leisure Suit Larry.
Star Wars 1313.
Yeah, well, that could come back.
Yeah,
That'd be good.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a revamp of X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Nice. I like this.
Look, we can dream.
We can all dream.
And that list can get pretty long and hefty once I start walking down that road.
Yeah.
A new full throttle game. Oh my goodness.
Oh, there we go. It starts.
It starts and it's a deep well. Anyway.
That's a deep hole to get into.
So yeah. Interesting.
All right.
Watch this space.
Watch this space. More to come. All right. Well, staying on with EA, Battlefield 5 it's entered the fray. Well, it's entering the fray. So we all know this has been coming, but now we've got a bit of an update for Battlefield's Battle Royale, referred to by lots as the Ring of Fire. Now, similar sort of premise as every other Battle Royale. You jump in, but the circle is just on fire. It's literally just a fire creeping its way in towards the center of the map. So, have you guys seen the release preview for this yet?
No.
Not yet.
No? All right. Well, those listening along, check out the webpage. I'll put our link up on there as soon as we're finished recording here tonight. And hopefully when this goes up, I'll have remembered to put a thing in so that it re-uploads again. Still no release date, though. So Battlefield 5's been out for what? 6 months?
Don't know. Haven't been interested in
Something like that. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I think it's around that 6 month mark.
Well, yeah, it came out in that head, the premium time. So when's that? October, November, kind of.
Yeah,
September,
so around then.
November.
Yeah, so about that time. Anyway, so it's releasing sometime in April. But from all accounts, it looks to be a lot of fun, and we'll keep you updated as it comes along. Grejio, last bit I've got on here from you, Borderlands 3. They finally figured out how to draw a bloke shooting himself in the head 3 times.
It seems that way, but we won't know until PAX East, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So this week, Gearbox put up a tweet of a picture of a freeway sign, exit sign, those big green signs, in a very Borderlands art style, if you will, with a date graffitied across the sign, which was the 28th of March, which, funnily enough, coincides with PAX East. So, and, nothing more than that. So everyone's losing their mind because this is almost all but confirming that Borderlands 3 is going to be in some way announced or revealed or something at PAX. So,
yeah, if you look at the top of that picture as well, it's half cut off, but there's the number 3 right up the top.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So, look, I think
it's an upside down 2 because it's coming to the Switch.
No, it's not.
No, look.
Why would the 2 mean a Switch?
Let's put it this way.
No, it's Borderlands 2 is coming to the Switch.
Oh, right. I thought you meant it would be... Yeah, never mind.
If you thought that those who was it early in this year that got pissed off with the mobile game, if you thought those guys were angry, man.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Borderlands 3.
I know a few people that have been hanging out for Borderlands for a long time. And they're going to lynch them dudes if they don't get it soon. So anyway, so yeah, look. By the time you guys are listening to this, we'll be dead set in the middle of PAX because that's this Sunday. Will be the 28th over there. So this time next week, for us anyway, for you,
we should know all about it.
We should know all about it. So we'll be able to tell you next week. And next podcast, we'll be able to tell you all about it.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the last bit for me, at the beginning of the show, I said that PlayStation has finally started. Now, I've said this a couple of times, and whether I've said it on the show or just talking amongst friends, PlayStation has needed, a bit of a showcase, but sort of show off what's going around. They need a Major Nelson. Now it seems to be that the first ever PlayStation State of Play is going live tomorrow morning, which will be the 26th of the 3rd at 8 a.m.
And they've given us no indication of what they're doing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing. Not even a hint.
No idea. All it says is it's upcoming PS4 games and VR material.
All those things that they could talk about at E3.
I'll get up and watch it.
You'll get up and watch it. It's 8 a.m. I'll be up for hours.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I won't be up at 8 a.m. normally.
Fair enough. Yeah, so that's on tomorrow. Anyway, by the time this goes live, there'll be some information up. Hopefully I'll get to see it in some form or another. Generally at that time I'm on the road, and tomorrow I'll be on the road. And let's face it, it's just, illegal to watch a video and drive, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah, I've been told this a couple of times, and yeah, so I won't get to see it live, but I'll be able to watch it, and I'm sure we'll have some information up here, there, or everywhere. Look out for it and look on the page and check it out.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is going to be said? What do you think they're going to talk about?
Days Gone.
Yeah.
Last of Us.
New Move controller. Oh,
they've been sort of needed.
Last of Us release date would be nice.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
I mean,
I'm thinking maybe an update to PS Plus.
Yeah, maybe.
I might tell you what next month's games with gold, games with.
Well, if I tell you what games with gold are, yeah.
Well, if they do that, I'm like, that's pretty impressive. They're going to start advertising for Xbox. Nice work.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. I'm thinking maybe PS Plus, they'll either announce next month's titles or they will maybe give us an update of where they're going. I know a lot of people whinged about there only being 2, even though there were 2 pretty awesome ones for March. But yeah, who knows? Who knows where it's going? Lucas, did you think anything pop into your head as we're going through there, apart from a migraine from listening to us?
No, man, but I've got a rapid fire quiz I forgot to tell you at the start.
All right, well, let's jump into the rapid fire quiz.
All right, do you guys remember the rules to the rapid fire quiz and how it works?
You're going to have to remind me.
Yeah,
I assume there's some kind of fast questions and fast answers.
All right, well, I don't know. What do you want to do? Do you want a buzzer or do you just want to say the answer? I think probably that's a better. Just you guys say the answer. I'm sure I'll be able to work out whose voice it is. I'm going to ask you 10 questions, but you need to answer quickly. And if it's not quickly enough, you're going to get hurry-ons. And
failed.
Yeah, that's right. And if I don't get an answer quickly enough, I'm taking the point.
Didn't I have a sound effect for this? Where's my sound effect?
Nope.
Well, there's that one.
So is it 10 questions each? Or?
No. I'm asking 10 questions
That's
to both of you. They're kind of easy questions. The idea is answer before the other person. It's not something that's going to destroy your brain. All right? And there's a 60-second timer that'll start just before I start reading the first question, okay? And you've got to be quick. I'm gonna read them quick, and I want quick answers. All right? He's ready?
Yes.
No. Yes. No.
No, that wasn't the question. That wasn't the first question.
Because we both got it wrong.
All right.
All right, let's go.
And hopefully it's going to be quick enough that these people in the chat aren't going to... No, they won't be able to type the answers quick enough.
Tell us the answers.
Are you ready? And the time starts now. What is the name of the main character in Half-Life? Quickly,
Gordon Freeman.
Yes. Okay, Pat. Question number 2. Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog's real name is... Quickly.
Tails.
No, that's what I just told you. What's his real name?
Bob.
Sonic Jr.
Fail. Question number 3. What version of Windows preceded Windows 95?
3.1.
Well done, Pat. Question number 4. What name is given to a common keyboard layout?
QWERTY.
Oh, I think that was Greg. Question number 5. Which is the biggest unit of digital storage? A megabyte or a megabit?
Megabyte.
Shit, I don't know who that was. Question number 6. What colour is the standard X button on the Xbox One controller?
Red.
Blue.
I don't know who said that either. Question number 7. What colour is the light on any PlayStation 4 when it's powered on?
Blue.
No,
White.
Incorrect. Why? All right, we'll take your second guess. Question number 8. Who is the brother of Super Mario?
Luigi.
Greg. Question number 9. Name an exclusive Xbox One/PC game that starts with the letter S. Quickly.
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves is correct. And question number 10. How many playable characters are in the original Mortal Kombat game without cheats or glitches?
Oh, shit.
Quick.
11?
Nah.
6.
Finished. Failed. Alright, that was it.
Green Mario. Yeah.
Green Mario. Oh, wow. I think that's close. I'll have to have a quick look. Let's have a look at what these guys have been writing in the chat. Azrael said that guy. Okay, so she obviously didn't know who Gordon Freeman was. QWERTY, yes. It's not typed right, but whatever. Radicus gave the answer of penis. I'm not sure what that was for. I don't know. Blue. Greg, did you say red? I think you both said red.
We both said red, and then we both said blue.
Yeah, but I don't know who said it first.
I think Pat got me there.
Okay. Oh well, that's fair.
Anytime where I heard him before me, I figured he got me.
Okay.
But every time you said it was close, and I said what the, it was because I said it well before I heard him say it.
Well, yes, but what you've got to remember, Greg, is that we're using an internet service in Australia.
I get that. But you know.
So on my end, I may be hearing it differently. It's like when you shoot someone, you're like, "How the fuck did I get shot?" And I'm behind cover. All right. So
anyway,
we've got
Lag.
Pat got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Greg got.
He's 1 then, because I didn't get the other 5. Surely.
No, you got 1.
Because we didn't get tails.
2,
so at least 4.
5 to 2. Snoogs annihilated it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Booyah.
All right, now we'll just quickly go through the answers. Some of them we didn't get right. The first one was obviously Gordon Freeman from Half-Life. The second one, neither of you got. Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog's real name is Miles per hour, as in miles per hour.
Yeah, right.
The Windows, Windows 95. Pat scored 3.1. Well done. The QWERTY
That's because I
keyboard.
used it when it was still fucking new.
Yeah, so did I. Easy one, the bigger unit, which was the megabyte. The colour of the X button is blue, not red. What colour is the light on any PlayStation 4 when powered on? What's that?
I have 3 Xbox controllers in front of me, right?
I figured both of you probably would.
Yeah, I've got one, my Elite controller, which
doesn't have colours.
Doesn't,
which is just white. I've got my Minecraft controller, which is green and white, and I've got my Gears of War controller, which is blue.
Yeah, and I've got my Advanced Warfare controller in front of me, which also it has the colours, but they're these tiny little arrows, and from where they were, I couldn't see them.
Fair enough, but that's why I specifically said what colour is the standard Xbox X button, because I knew that may be the case. The next one, though, I almost got you, Snoogs. What colour is the light on any PlayStation 4 when it's powered on? It's white.
Yeah, I tried to jump in early. Yep.
Although you got it right, I probably would have given you blue because I don't think I worded that right. See, I meant when it's on, right? Then it's white.
Mm.
But I've said
when it's logged in, it's white.
When it's powered on, as in when you press the power button, yeah, it is blue. So I probably would have given you that anyway. Super Mario's brother is Luigi. Greg got that one. Xbox or PC exclusive, starting with S. What'd you say? Sea of Thieves?
Sea of Thieves.
There was Super Lucky's Tale, State of Decay, Sunset Overdrive, and Slime Rancher were the ones that I found. And then how many playable characters in the original Mortal Kombat without cheats or glitches? I think most of the people in here said 8.
That was my first answer.
Yeah, but it's not 8.
Yeah, so what was it?
7.
7.
Yeah.
I went either side. I went 8 and 6.
Yeah.
But it wasn't till now I was thinking, actually, because there's like a random tab, which means there's an odd number of characters.
No, there's no random tab in that.
Isn't there?
No.
I'm sure there is.
Oh, jeez. You're fixing something.
That was me.
So there's Johnny Cage, Kano, Raiden, Liu Kang, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Sonya Blade. Hang on a second. Editing Lucas here, pulling up podcast Lucas. I said Raiden. What? Who the hell says Raiden? His name is Raiden. I guess, look, Raiden is the same spelling, but that's the dude from Metal Gear Solid. In Mortal Kombat, that's Raiden. Sorry, back to the show.
Yeah,
and that.
And they put them. I thought they had them in like 2 rows, and so the odd one out was the random selection one. But anyway, never mind.
I think there was 2, and then a block in the middle, probably with a logo, and then another 2, and then 3 down the bottom.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. Well, yeah, well done, Snoogs. That was a bit of fun. Congratulations. You win yourself the game.
The game. Bit of pride for a week.
That's it. You got some pride. Well done.
Well done, Skrill. Yep. Skrill got 10 out of 10. That's right. All right. All right. Thanks for that, mate.
Prove I didn't.
Fun.
That's right. We can't prove you didn't.
Exactly.
You can't prove you did either.
Hey, he's listening to us. He's a community member, as far as I'm concerned.
Customer's almost right.
He got 11 out of 10, as far as I'm concerned. He got a bonus point for getting all 10.
Skrill was yelling as loud as he could. All right, let's jump into some last words.
Okay, I've got some last words.
Yep.
Or lack thereof. Can you hear this? Can you hear that?
Is that you waiting for your game to start at 5 tomorrow?
No, that's me swinging around on my chair.
Oh, okay.
I'm
If
holding
I
a.
could hear it, I'd suggest you take the chair back.
I'm holding a can of WD-40. I think it was after the podcast, or was it during the podcast when I mentioned, because my chair was squeaking.
No, yeah, it was squeaking. Yep.
And when I was doing the editing, I'm like, oh God, I can hear that chair going. And then I said in the stream that I was doing afterwards that I got and then I did Siri. I did a reminder using Siri saying,
that's right, yes.
Remind me to pick up some WD-40. I got the WD-40, I put it on the chair, and it doesn't squeak anymore.
Giddy up.
Awesome.
Lucas the handyman.
That's it. Yes, and Siri woke me up at 8 a.m. because I was like, Siri, remind me. Oh, shit, no, it's going to activate. Don't. Remind me tomorrow to pick up some WD-40. And then it goes, okay, I'll remind you at 8 a.m. I'm like, no, not 8 a.m. Oh, well.
She would have got thrown out the window. Yes, she would have. You can say, hey, Siri, in my car, and it sets it off. It's kind of cool. I've never had all these little fancy shit before, so it's pretty cool.
What if people haven't got their phone set up with their voice? We could set it off if they're listening to the podcast by saying, hey, Siri, send a text message to Mum saying, you're an idiot. Wait. Yes, because it says ready to send it, and then you got to go, yes. I hope
Siri's always trying to talk.
I hope that didn't activate mine just then.
Oh, I just activated mine. I'm glad I didn't finish that sentence.
Why have you got an iPhone?
We've got my work one sitting here.
Oh, you got your work one. That's okay.
Whoops. All right. Lucas, seeing as though you're here again this week, you can plug your own bloody show.
Oh, I don't even care anymore. That other show. Go listen to it. About
You know what?
plugging it, because I don't have anything written down. It's that other show.
Mate,
it's on iTunes.
you know what? You know what? I always find this helps. Just ask Editing Lucas to do it. He's pretty good at that sort of shit.
Oh, yeah, but that's still future Luke doing the more work for me. No, I'll do it now. There's a podcast that I do on my own. It goes for 20 minutes. It's all about gaming and stuff like that. And sometimes I get special guests, and it's on iTunes and YouTube. And go and listen to it.
So
Awesome.
How's
You
that
gave
for
me
selling
crap.
something?
you gave me crap last week for not listening to the latest episode of the other show, right? Last week, right?
Yep.
And telling me that there was something in it for me.
Yep.
Now, at the time, I was like, are you talking about episode 11 or are you talking about the newest one, episode 12? But I was like, no, he seems pretty adamant.
The latest one.
I'll sit down and I'll listen to episode 12. Funnily enough, there was nothing in episode 12 for me. It was episode 11, which I'd already listened to, which I thought was, fair enough.
What was it?
So I felt a little bit vindicated. Now I got to try and remember what it was. We were talking about, what was he talking about? I've forgotten now because it's almost a week ago now because I did what I said I'd do. I'd listened to it on the way.
Was it the one where I complained about you whinging about shit?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember it being whinging. I think no. Episode 11. You mentioned about how you liked my review of Apex Legends.
Oh,
Because
that's
I
not what I was
requested-
referring to. What I was referring to is on episode 12, and it's where it's right at the beginning. It's at the start. You had to listen to probably about 18 seconds, and you got it.
I listened to the whole episode. Obviously, I missed the first 18 seconds. Now.
Yeah, probably.
So,
The bit where
alright,
it says, I'm sitting back in my room with my whiskey and the smell of leather.
Surrounded by
Yeah.
mahogany.
The
Which
mahogany.
mahogany?
Yeah. That was the reference to you because you said that
okay.
about me on one of the other episodes of the show. My
Yeah.
God, this is like a bloody episode of what's that guy? Nicolas Cage and the Book of Secrets.
National Treasure.
Yes,
Like
it's
Pat's favorite movie.
yeah.
I thought you.
I enjoyed the movie. I don't know where the hell you two are going.
Book of Secrets.
To be fair, this episode has been pretty loose. We've been all over the place today. from the word dot, we've kind of been a bit loose. So
Yeah, there's
look,
a bit of personality in it this week because I'm on.
DOS.
Hi, I'm Grejio, and I'm going to talk about Forza Horizon 2. 4 even.
See, I'm not even sure if you're taking a piss or you legitimately made a mistake there.
No, I legitimately made a mistake.
Skrill's requesting that we name this show Triggered.
I'm going to call it the Holden Club Sport Commodore.
Holden Commodore Club Sport. Holden Commodore Club Sport Edition.
The Chevy
HSV
Chevy
Commodore.
Club Sport.
Oh.
I just broke everything.
Yeah. All of a sudden, next time we stream, we get DDoSed. Yeah.
Oh dear. Right. Call it Three Guys Dribbling Shit. That's a very accurate name.
That noise Greg made. What noise is that one? I make lots.
Yeah, what noise did he make?
God.
Grinding gears.
Oh, what? I did do that once, didn't I? I did a grinding gears segment.
If this ever makes it
My
into
rant.
the final, you've got to go and have a look at our live chat. Brilliant.
Yes.
Oh dear. Well,
All right,
you have to be an
let's-
agent of age to see that.
Well, then they need to get in there and have a look at it.
Well,
Ask us.
come across to the Discord and learn how to become an agent of age.
Exactly.
We'll teach you the ways of being an agent. Yep. And
Speaking of, while you're on Twitter,
Correct.
hashtag AgeXP. Get on it. All right. Well, unless you've got any other last words.
Oh, how good is Love, Death and Robots? That's it. I've got a bone to pick with you, Snoogs.
Hmm.
Yeah, because it was put in the chat the other day, and I'm like, what's this love? No, what is it? Whatever. I just said it. Love,
Death and Robots.
Yes, what is this? And then someone was talking about it, and then you wrote in there, don't watch it at night time because I binge watched it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fucking pissed off that you watched that and did not go, hey Lucas, you got to watch this. It's awesome. What kind of friend are you?
I thought that must have been one of my haze afterwards. I was sure I told you.
No, you watched something
I'm
that
sure.
good. You fucking tell me.
I'm sure I did. I
Nope.
put it in our chat.
Nope.
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 Are you sure?
Nope.
My apologies. Which one's your favourite so far?
Oh, mate, so many. I really love the werewolf one in like Afghanistan.
I know.
That
Didn't that take a fucking twist?
That was fucking cool. I really liked that. There was also that one that was kind of reminded me of a Scanner Darkly. It was that loop where they starts off and she sees somebody getting killed, and then the guy chases after her.
Yes.
Ah, that was cool. And then there was like the one where there was like cocks and balls and tits everywhere, which is like every episode.
That's always a good start. Yeah.
Or the Avatar one, like where they fight in the arena, but it's like they're using the monsters as an avatar.
Yes, that was the first one.
It's
I
like
watched.
that's like early on. It might be the first one.
Yeah.
There's so many. They're
I was
all amazing.
absolutely blown away by that one.
I'm probably halfway through, maybe a little bit halfway through the season, but they are so great. Oh, there was also that it was kind of Starship Trooper like, where they had Lucky Number 13, the ship.
Yes.
That was good too. For people that don't know, I don't know if we've explained it really well, but it's a Netflix series, and each episode is like a short 10 to 15 minute.
Yeah, I think the shortest is 6, the longest is about 17.
Yeah. Oh, the Junkyard one? Oh, that was cool too.
It's a TV show, guys. For those that were waiting for the end of that description before Lucas jumped back into, remember that one? That was awesome. Funnily enough, I've got another one I think you'll like, Pat. Have you watched the Kyrilin? What's it?
I've started watching it, yeah.
Yeah.
I've watched the first episode. Kind of intrigued me, but I haven't. What is it, the Kyrillian
frequency?
Frequency, yeah.
Yeah, the first episode's a bit weird. It's a little bit looser than the rest of, like, the storyline is a bit looser than the rest of them. I mean, not to say that the rest of them aren't just as weird, but I just got the feeling, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I kind of feel like the art style in that is probably not what you'd enjoy, but the stories, the kind of the dark monster stories.
I didn't mind the art style, actually. I've got sort of, it worked. It kind of played in well with the story.
Yeah. I get the sort of monster stories that kind of, they'd be your jam. Those like eerie, freaky, sort of urban legend kind of stories.
A bloke on the pirate radio or something?
Yeah. He's sort of, you're not sure whether he's kind of telling the story or whether things are actually happening kind of thing. But yeah, it plays out. And the season ends where they're clearly aiming to make a second one. So
awesome.
It will. Yeah.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, it's just something different. I just came across it and I went, this is weird and different, and tried it and I went, I really like it. So yeah.
I'm sitting here waiting for Lucas to jump in with an, do you remember that one?
Yeah, I have been thinking of them. They're really
it's
good.
More worth it.
How good was the vampire one?
Yep. I apologise. I thought I had put it in our chat about it, but that could have been because I dead set I started watching it.
Like this is something that you'd recommend to any gamer because it's right down that alley.
Okay, well, a funny thing about it, a lot of the animators that worked on it are actually gaming programmers.
Yeah,
so they're artists for gamers,
and that's
like for games.
They feel like really polished cutscenes. They're fucking amazing. Yeah. Oh, I love it. So many penises. That's not the bit I love. But no, that's not the bit I love. But it's just an observation. There were a lot of penis.
There was a lot of everything there.
Yeah, and a lot of good titties too.
That
It's just evening it out.
Yeah.
it evens it out quite well. That one that's like the Chinese folklore.
The
Where
cartoony one, the like fox.
Yeah, where she's like a fox sort of thing.
Yeah, there was one little bit where it was cartoon box.
Yes, there was, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not bad. Yeah.
Wow.
Dirty old man.
Radicus, don't get confused. Just watch it, mate.
Watch it. It's great.
You've got to. You've got to watch it.
Not tentacles. There's big saggy testicles.
Wow.
The junkyard one. The dude's taking a piss and then he has to run away and he's nuts and everything.
Yes. Yeah. And they slap him in the face. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
We've gone. Never pulls his dax back up. Yes, that's right.
He never gets the chance.
I wouldn't if I was being chased by that too. All right. Anything else, guys? Or should we wrap it up?
No, I'm done. I'm happy.
Yeah, no, I think we should wrap it up.
Wrap it up?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for everyone that has listened to the show, and especially those that are still listening this far along. Super special thanks to our live listeners who, as always, are chatting away and giving us so much extra content to help fill the show. So that's to Asriel, Kaza, Radicus, and Skrill. Thanks a lot, guys. Greg, Lucas, thank you for joining me and keeping us... I would normally say keeping us in line this week, but that kind of got thrown out the window.
You can't keep me in line. I do what I want.
Do what I want. So all of our listeners, feel free to continue any of the topics that we've discussed on this show on our Facebook page or Discord channel. Links are in this podcast show notes and description. And don't forget to leave us a review on your preferred podcast catcher. That's all from me. As always, I am Snoogs.
And I am Lucas. Shut the fuck up, Redicus.
And I have been Grejio.
Swears.
See, the arsehole said we cure his insomnia. Ooh, okay, that's the end of this week's podcast. And if you found yourself shouting at your speakers in disgust or maybe even in pleasure, make your way over to our Discord server and make a comment in the appropriate channel. Failing that, you can also have your say over on our Facebook page, or you can just tweet at us. Searching for the Aussie Gamers Experience will usually lead you in the right direction, but you could just use the set of links that are in the show description. This podcast is available through Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, and plenty more. Thank you very much for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode of the official podcast of the Aussie Gamers Experience.